I think the last few weeks has shown us that Mason Mount is very much Erik ten Hag's priority signing in midfield. The gap in valuation between what United think he's worth, and I tend to agree, and what Chelsea think he's worth, and I definitely don't agree, seems massively far apart and is potentially a stumbling block for United getting this deal done. So what I wanted to do is have a look at a couple of alternatives, 3 to be precise, who United could get over the line. Chelsea have rejected United's £40 million bid for Mason Mount. The guy's only got a year left on his deal. The player is keen to come. There is no leverage on the Chelsea side, and I think if Mason Mount puts in a transfer request, this one probably gets done quite straightforward. But Todd Boehly, as we've seen, is off his rocker, doesn't necessarily do things the way one expects. So let's just do the 3 alternatives just on the off chance. Now, first up is a player that we've already covered and done a scout report on, so if you want to go check that out, then go check that out. But that's Maxence Caqueret, defensive midfielder from Lyon, 23 years of age. He's a really good technical passer of the ball, excels in all areas of the pitch, but especially in the creative aspect. He's got a wonderful vision and weight of pass, really knows when to release the ball at the right time. Plays mainly as an 8. Could also play in the 6 with the build-up going through him, which is why when you think about how United have played this season, you can really visualise Caqueret in the team like this. Real creative force. Like I said, play as an 8 for Lyon this season, given a lot more freedom to get forward. Could play in a very similar role alongside Casemiro. He's a threat right the way across the park. His dribbling is top. He is someone that can play in pockets, usually the left half space. No one really occupies that for United, as Bruno loves to operate in the right half space. He's got very, very good close control and technical ability. One of the best traits that make him a weapon against low blocking sides. And like we said, really good dribbler, low centre of gravity, quick feet, very press resistant. He's got a lovely drop of the shoulder and a body feint, which means that people are getting sent left, right, and centre. He's also got an excellent first touch. Tenacious, works really hard, presses well, small but quite aggressive, which compensates for his height. Defensively, he's kind of known for having a bit of a tireless work rate defensively, and I think his work rate for the team is very underrated. He's got good energy, good tenacity. Lyon youth coach Garrido, who in 30 years at the club has helped develop the likes of Umtiti, Lacazette, once described Caqueret as a machine because of the tireless work effort and energy off the ball. Like I said, very, very tenacious, works hard, presses well. His FB ref metrics are absolutely off the charts for this. Small, but his aggression does really compensate for that. Wins the ball back quick, gets goals off the back of that, whether that's scoring, setting somebody up, or just getting the ball forward. And he has a bit of a makings of a creative midfielder, capable of fulfilling all the roles in midfield because of how good technically he is and because of his energy and his willingness to improve. Looking at the metrics on FBref, we're talking 91 percentile for tackles, 99 for tackles in the attacking third. Absolute press machine. Also top 10 interceptions in the opponent's half in Ligue 1. Defensively there, showing just how rugged he is off the ball, complete workforce. And then he's in the top 90 percentile for passes into the final third and 97th for goal-creating actions, top 10 in Ligue 1 for chance creation. That shows his creative ability and how progressive he is in possession. He's also 92nd percentile for ball carriers. For comparison, Caqueret now resembles Bruno Guimaraes, who is an excellent player and has took to the Premier League really, really well. That intensity, mobility, the vision, the goal scoring. Look how effective he's been for Newcastle. That's what Caqueret could look like in a Manchester United shirt. He's very, very similar in a lot of ways. Another one that we've done a scout report on previously is Enzo Le Fée. 5'7". Not the biggest bunch that we're looking at, in all honesty, but is that diminutive midfielder with a low centre of gravity and an absolute abundance of technical quality and ability. Been likened to Thiago Alcantara and Verratti, 2 excellent footballers that could do it all. If he's in that sort of category, you can't go wrong with signing him. Very, very skillful, positions himself really cleverly in between the lines, always drifting into spaces. None of that stagnant, square, static sort of shite that we see from McTominay. He's got ability to make line-breaking passes. He's also very quick, which is useful for driving the team forward, and he is extremely versatile. He's played in a number of positions on the pitch, ranging from the left and right side number 8, attacking midfielder, part of the pivot, being a single deep liar, and even a winger in his younger days. Because of the adaptability to roles, and because it's differed so much throughout his young career, the fact that he can be used as a defensive midfielder, a deep line playmaker, a half space presence, a free roaming 10, it just gives a manager so many options. Predominantly, you see him occupying that left sort of half space, bit of a similar role to the one that we saw Pogba kind of try and make his own at United. Another dominant characteristic of Le Fée is his dribbling ability and the ball carrying ability. And when it comes to his progression, he is a lot closer to Frenkie de Jong than probably any other player, especially the way he uses the ball. Straight line running and agility to wiggle out of pressure rather than pass out of pressure. And there is differences between the two, and I think one of the reasons he also works well in a double pivot, he's got a very low centre of gravity. We see a lot of body feints out of him, speed changes, manoeuvres. Just someone who's extremely comfortable having the ball at his feet and having players and chaos all around him. Someone who can slow the game down and make good decisions, and that is a massive, massive marker to have. He is press resistant, so he can be used in that sort of De Jong style to assist in the build-up. He was top 10 in League One for key passes this season, 86th percentile in Europe for shot-creating actions. His vision, his link play is outstanding. And yes, he's physically unimposing. He relies on his reading of the game to sort of bridge the gap, and he does that really, really well. He is a willing presser, very, very hard-working, very astute defender. He made the second most tackles in League One this season. He's in the 94th percentile for tackles won across Europe. And prior to New Year, he managed 32 counter-pressing recoveries, 27 high regains, and 8 dangerous recoveries in the final third of the pitch. Kid's all action. He's also an outstanding striker of the ball and a bit of a set-piece specialist, which is another invaluable trait. And he is a bit unfinished. There's rawness to him. There's room for improvement. And he has the tools to be productive straight away, but I think there's also room to grow. And then finally, another young one, really. And one that I think would be the most exciting on this list, realistically. How much he would cost is anyone's guess, and that's Moisés Caicedo. So we've seen him as a centre mid, a defensive mid. We've seen him at right back. He's 21 years of age. United should have signed him under Solskjaer. He is versatile. He's technically gifted. He can play in several positions. He is Premier League proven, which is a big one. He was very, very early when he moved to the Premier League to Brighton from Ecuador, age 19, and he has took to the Premier League like it ain't shit. He is very tactically astute for his age, full of confidence, willing to take the initiative, constantly makes himself available as a passing option when they're in possession. And even as a teenager, he did this looking at home in the Premier League. And although he can play a variety of midfield roles, I think he is best as the defensive midfielder or maybe the right side 8 in a 4-3-3. When he's been selected as the deepest line midfielder, he looks to progress through the centre of the pitch whenever he can, and he's comfortable dropping alongside centre halves when they need to feed the ball past an opposition's first line and into midfield. He receives it on the half turn. He can get past the opposition attack when they're pressing. He receives it in between the lines. He's got composure. And he's able to maintain and set the tempo of a team's attack. He's class. Right? Let's have it right. He's absolutely class. He's a big tackler, fierce competitor, has got like a monstrous mentality. I wonder if Antonio Valencia's had a word with him. I have no idea. He's got good scanning, good decision making. Wherever he is, and wherever he gets on the ball, Caicedo looks to get vertical at all times. He's got really good vision. He's got the ability to find people in gaps and teammates when they're ahead of him. He's got exceptional close control. He's good with the ball in tight spaces. And that makes him particularly useful following a regain of possession, as he can quickly work the ball into space of a teammate who is free in transition. Now, he can sometimes try an over-ambitious pass. I think we allow that from him being 21 years of age. that side of the game he'll probably improve with and become more clinical and more ruthless with his decision making. He's already good and he's already intelligent when he plays. But no, this is like a Roy Keane. Roy Keane used to charge about the place a little bit at 21, and he started to settle down and have some serious impact on the game. I can see Caicedo having similar sort of traits to Roy Keane. And even though he's probably mostly been used in the defensive midfield role this season with Brighton, usually in a double pivot, he could excel as a number 8. He's amongst the best players in the Premier League for defensive duels. He's extremely effective blocking the back four. Positionally, very aware, and does a good job in transition and defensive set pieces. He's a hell of a player. I don't know how much he would cost, but if United are only prepared to go 50, 60 million for Mount and Chelsea still don't have it, I think 60 million probably gets you Caicedo, and even if you started the bid at 50, you might get some joy out of them. That's my 3 that I think might be an alternative to Mount. Some of you might even think that, for example, Caicedo's a better option than Mount. You're entitled to have that belief. Let me know in the comments which of those are you taking, and are you taking any of them ahead of Mount? See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.